Graphing lines given an equation in slope-intercept form. To graph a line when given slope-intercept form, we're going to start in the coordinate plane on the y-intercept. From that point, you're going to count the slope or rise and run from that point. I want you to do it at least twice if possible, plotting a point each time. Then you're going to connect the points, hopefully at least 3. They should connect to form a straight line. If not, check to make sure you plotted them correctly. If you're given the equation y equals 2x minus 3, and I ask you to graph this line, there's 2 pieces of information given to you in the equation. Remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So the information given to us in the equation is that the y-intercept is at -3. So we're going to put a point at -3 on the y-axis. It also tells you that your slope is 2. And remember, we can write any whole number over 1. Because slope is rise over run, if our slope is given to us as a whole number, we do need to write it as a ratio or a fraction and put that whole number over 1. What the slope 2 over 1 means, notice that they're both positive. It means that from the y-intercept, I need to go up 2 spaces and go to the right 1 unit, and I'm going to place a point. Then from that point, I'm going to count the slope again. So I'm going to go up 2 units and to the right 1 unit, and I'm going to plot another point. Notice I've counted the slope twice. I've started at my y-intercept. Now I have 3 points, and I can go ahead and draw a line through those 3 points. A couple of things I want to point out. If you have only plotted 3 points on a graph, you have not graphed a line. To have graphed a line, there actually needs to be a line connecting the 3 points. The thing about a line is that a line is going to extend in 2 directions forever. So, if you have a line connecting your 3 points, you're going to draw arrows on either end of the line, indicating that it's going to go on and on in both directions forever. The next example, we're given an equation y equals 3 over 5x plus 5. In this equation, we are given that the y-intercept is at 5. So on our coordinate plane, on the y-axis, we're going to plot a point at 5. We're also given that the slope is 3 over 5. 3 over 5, remember slope is rise over run. That means we're going to go up 3 units and to the right 5 units. Because they are both positive, I'm going to go up and to the right. When I count up 3 units and to the right 5 units, I need to plot a point. Notice if from that point I try to move up 3 units, I'm off of the coordinate plane that is shown in this picture. Because I do not have enough room to go up 3 and to the right 5 again, there is another way that I can move. Instead of having a positive 3 over a positive 5, I could rewrite this slope as a -3 over a -5. If both of these are negative, remember, it's rise over run. That means I'm going to need to go down 3 units and to the left 5 units. So I need to move in the negative direction both times. If you think back to when we talked about integers, remember a positive divided by a positive is a positive, and a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So if I have a positive 3 over 5 for a slope, that is the same as it saying I have a -3 over -5 as a slope, because in the end, both of those are positives. When you count down 3, and to the left 5. I'm going to plot a point. Notice now I have my 3 points in the coordinate plane. I have not graphed a line yet, though. I need to go ahead and draw a line through those points, connect them, and make sure that you draw arrows on your line. The next example we have is y equals negative 1 over 4x. If you have y equals negative 1 over 4x, notice that we are not adding or subtracting anything from that. Because I am not adding or subtracting anything, my y-intercept is at 0. So I'm going to go ahead and put a point at 0 on the y-axis, which happens to just be the origin. The slope that we are given is negative 1 over 4. Now, when you're given a negative slope, that means either the top number or the bottom number you can consider negative. So the slope I can write as a negative 1 over 4, which means I need to move down 1 and to the right 4 units and plot a point. The other way that I could think of this slope is a positive 1 over a negative 4. If I have a positive 1 over a negative 4, that means I need to move up 1 unit and to the left 4 units and plot a point. Notice I have 3 points that I can draw a straight line through, remembering to put arrows on each end. This last example says y equals negative x minus 1. My y-intercept is at negative 1, so I'm going to go ahead and plot a point at negative 1. Notice that there's just a negative sign in front of my x, but if you remember, a variable always has an understood 1 in front of it. So my slope is going to be negative 1 over 1, because remember I can write any whole number over 1. I need to write this over 1 because my slope is a ratio of rise over run, so I do need to go ahead and have a fraction. If you have a slope of negative 1 over 1, that means your rise is negative 1, which means we're moving down 1. That means your run is positive 1, which means you're going to the right 1. And go ahead and plot a point. We could have enough room on this graph to go ahead and move that same way again. So from that point that I just plotted, I need to go down 1 and to the right 1 and plot a point. You could keep going down 1 and to the right 1 forever, and you would still be on the same line that is created by these 3 points. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw a line through the points and go ahead and make sure that you put arrows on either side of your line. This example says y equals negative 6. Notice in this equation, we do not have an x, and which means we also don't have a number that is in front of an x. So the negative 6 is actually going to be your y-intercept because y equals negative 6, which means you have a point on the y-axis at negative 6. If you do not have an x at all in your equation, then that means that your slope is 0. If you remember when we talked about horizontal and vertical lines, a horizontal line has a slope of 0. So in this case, my line is going to be a horizontal line going through negative 6 on the y-axis.